Hey everyone, Martin here. Today was an amazing day. We had a family quarterly, and what that is I have I'm in recovery, and I do in recovery world we do what's similar in church world is discipleship. Where one teaches one, right? And so I have a sponsor who teaches me how to stay clean in recovery, learn how to live life, because the literature says we don't know how to live with or without drugs. And so the job of the sponsor is to teach the sponsee how to learn to live without drugs. They also walk them through the process of the 12 steps and learn how to practice spiritual principles. And so I have a sponsorship family where I sponsor a bunch of people who sponsor a bunch of people who sponsor a bunch of people, and there's like a lineage that goes down, right? And every 90 days we get together and have a meeting where people are assigned topics. Sometimes it's one topic and everybody's going to share on it. And usually there's anywhere from 10 or 8 to 10 speakers. And so today we did ours, and the topic was through my inability to accept personal responsibilities, we were actually creating our own problems. And I don't know about you, but that's an amazing topic, right? Because it forces me to have to look at my inability to take care of the things that I need to, right? My own personal responsibilities. And there's many ways to look at that. And we had amazing speakers do an amazing job on that topic today. Most of them came from very different directions, and but there was some rawness, and some people got real, like some real butt naked real. And it was great to see new speakers coming to life, right? People who are early in recovery, early in the step working process, finding some freedom for themselves today as they spoke on this. And it's interesting, as I thought about the topic for myself, my inability, right? Like there's a denial that I have at times, right? And sometimes in our literature it says that denial is a part of my disease. It tells me I don't have one, right? And so my inability sometimes is a denial of seeing my reality for what it really is. So yesterday I talked about, like, it's easier for us to change our perception of reality than change reality. And so I'll look at something in a particular way, trying to make it what I want it to be so that I can be okay with it, right? And in my denial of things at times, right, like I don't want to accept that certain things are bad for me. I want them to be okay, or I justify and rationalize why they're acceptable for me to participate in or do or have around. And so at times there's a denial that I have that says that I don't have to do certain things in order to take care of myself, like eat right, right? I don't have to go work out, or I don't have to take care of my kids. The one that always kills me the most is when I get text messages from friends who are supposed to meet me for things, whether it be working out or hanging out or whatever, just to talk. And they text me, I can't come on babysitting, and I have to text them back. When it's your kids, it's not called babysitting, it's called being a parent, right? But like my own my lack of personal responsibility in that doesn't allow me to fully embrace the job of a parent, right? And so I have to remember that there's times where I deny certain things in my life that should be my responsibility, like what it means to be a dad, or what it means to be a husband, or a spouse, or whatever, a son, right? Like I don't want to accept that there's certain things that come with that job, and so, but what it does is, because there's spillover, right, in that lack of responsibility, it creates more problems for me, right? And I have to look at why the problems are created, and I want to blame them on other people, right? I want to say it's your fault that this isn't fixed or going right, and the reality is, no, I didn't take care of my part, and me not taking care of my part is what caused the problem. My lack of responsibility, personal responsibility, caused the problem. I've told you guys before, my wife and I have this bet going on right now, that she told me I can't get to 10% body fat, right? And today we had some people come over after the event and they bought pizza, right? And my wife was gonna eat some pizza, and she just assumed that I was gonna eat it too, and like there's some potential sabotage in that. Like, you want me to eat pizza, but we have this arrangement going on that I can't afford to do that at this moment, right? And so but I could have said, well, if I don't hit 10%, it's her fault because she told me to eat the pizza, right? As if like her saying that is a green light for me to screw up and not take care of my stuff, right? And the reality is, no, I have to be responsible for what I do. I can't blame her for me not accepting responsibility for the arrangement I made with her, and then when it doesn't work out, go, it's her fault. No, it doesn't work that way. And we do that a lot in our world, right? In our world, we want to pawn off responsibility onto other people, not realizing that at the end of the day, I have to be okay with the choices that I make. I have to, right? Like, the thing I teach my guys that I work with is that we don't live with no regrets, right? So if you're not totally 100% okay with the decision you're getting ready to make, then you don't make that decision, right? Like, we don't live with regrets and go, oh, I regret doing. No, you made a decision, so accept it and walk in it, right? Like, live with the decision that you make. You're making it. Nobody else is forcing you to do it. You're making that decision. Live with it, right? And that goes for if I do take the wrong action, right? Because I'm always talking about doing the right thing for the right reason. And so like if I choose to take a bad action, then I have to accept that I made a choice to do something that wasn't right. Whether I was caught up in the moment or I had some feelings about something, I still made the choice, right? Because what recovery is supposed to be teaching me is how to respond rather than react, right? And so for so long, I've always just reacted to things, right? I've always just been spontaneous and like, oh, you hit me, so I hit you back, right? There's no thought process that goes into what I'm getting ready to do. It's just, this is what I'm going to do because it's what I've always done, or it's what I've been taught, or it's what I've been told, or what I've been shown. And I have to remember that a lot of the information that I've been given throughout my life has been from misinformed people, right? And like, most of them didn't know how to do the right thing for the right reason or take healthy actions. That's why like no one in my family has stayed married for their entire life, right? They've all gotten divorces and just chosen to stay single or just date and not be ever fully committed in a healthy marriage, right? And so like, why am I listening to people who don't know how to be successful, right? I read a quote the other day, like, why do I keep asking people how to get somewhere where they're not even at, right? Like, you can't teach me something you don't have. And so like, I think about like, if I want to be better, I have to surround myself with better people, right? I posted the other day too, I don't need more, I need better, right? People, places, and things. I need to find people who are where I want to be so that they can help me get where they are, you know what I mean? And so, but like, right, it just comes down to accepting responsibility, right? There's a self-discipline thing that I listen to constantly, right? And Will Smith is the narrator, the one doing all the talking in the video, and he says, you're not responsible for your dad being an alcoholic and hurting you and causing trauma and all that other stuff. He goes, but you're damn for sure responsible for what you do about it, right? Like, I'm not responsible for my disease, but I am responsible for my recovery. So I'm responsible for the actions that I take when I get out of the disease, right? When I stop using drugs, I can't use that as an excuse for why I do dumb stuff. And so part of it is, how do I accept responsibility for the actions that I take going forward, right? And so like, I just think about those things, and I'm not trying to share on the topic. I'm just processing through some of the stuff that I thought about for myself as I planned this thing out and kind of listen to different people speak about it. But today I posted a quote on Facebook, is comfort keeping you from your greatness? And they kind of tie together, because the reality is I do believe that comfort robs us of greatness, right? It robs me of my greatness. Let me say that. Because what happens is, when I'm in pain, I do work, right? When I'm in pain, I seek help. When I'm in pain, I'm reading, I'm writing, I'm calling my sponsor, I'm reaching out to people. There's growth that takes place. I'm practicing spiritual principles. I'm working at it, right? I'm practicing them. When I get comfortable, when comfort comes, right? When everything starts to go smooth, I stop doing some of those things. Sometimes I stop doing all of them, and I get on coast mode, right? And I start thinking that I've done enough work to be okay. But I forget that I have a disease that is progressive, right? Progressive, like it grows, it doesn't stop. But I want to act like it doesn't grow because, oh, I've got things under control, right? My disease isn't acting out, everything is good, my life is beautiful, so there's no work that needs to be done for me. And the reality is, no, I constantly need to be doing work because I have a disease that is progressive. So every day, right? I've been talking to some of my guys about this too. Every day I have to start at zero, right? I have to realize that yesterday's work doesn't get me into today. It got me to today, but it doesn't carry me through. I'm either getting better or I'm getting worse. There's no such thing as staying the same, right? And so if I'm not doing anything to move me forward, then I'm only getting worse. And that's the part where, like, is comfort keeping me from my greatness? Yes, comfort does keep me from my greatness. Me, right? I maybe you're different, right? Maybe when things are good, you keep doing everything that you've always done. And that's what I try to teach, right? And I have to understand it for myself before I can fully teach it, that even when things are good, I have to keep working, right? I shared today that when I got clean and I did the work that I needed to do to stay clean, because I was afraid of getting loaded again, right? I was afraid of dying. I was afraid of going to prison. I was afraid of being homeless, right? I was afraid of going back to the old life. And then after a few years, I did work because I wanted to stay. I was enjoying what I was getting, so I wanted to stay there. Who doesn't, right? But now I have to do work because I'm somewhere I've never been before. Right? So like there's this progression that happens, but I have to do work today because I don't know what's ahead of me, right? I've never been here. I've never been 21 years clean. I don't know what to look forward to. I don't know what to expect. I don't know how things may come my way. I remember because when I got to this place, probably about 11, 12 years clean, I started dealing with like lots of millionaires in my world, and my sponsor used to just say, hey, man, you might want to be very careful how you tread in some of these waters because these people have the ability to do damage to you, right? They're not poor people. They have lawyers, right, who can do damage because sometimes you do some dumb stuff and you'll get in trouble for it. And so part of this process now is like, how do I keep working to become the best version of me? Because I don't want to do something that's going to get me in trouble. So I do work to make me better because I need to be in a space where I'm ready for anything. I really am. And that was the case too, right? Where I was doing work when I got clean because I didn't want to get loaded, because I didn't know what was going to cause me to ever want to what would cause me to get loaded again. I've never done it before. And then when I started to like what I was getting, I did work because I didn't know what to expect that would cause me to get loaded there either, right? Now I just don't know what's on the fronts, right? I've never been here. I've never been pursuing 95% of what I'm trying to pursue today. My wildest dreams have already come true, right? And the one thing my sponsor told me when I got here was, you can have whatever you want. You just have to do the work necessary. And I remember I'm greedy, right? And I said, I want it all. I want everything that is possibly available to me. And he said, then it sounds to me like you need to do a lot of work. And that's where we're at today, right? Today we're at the space of doing a lot of work because I want more. I have a lot, don't get me wrong. I'm totally grateful for the life that I live. I will never tell you my life sucks. I'll never tell you I don't have enough. I'll never tell you I'm ungrateful. I love my life. I have an amazing wife. She's beautiful. She's sexy. She's everything I ever could have dreamed for in a woman. I have amazing kids. I have amazing grandkids. I have amazing friends that I hang out with and get to spend time with. And I have amazing people in my life who call upon me to be ready to help them, like no complaints. Even when my disease becomes active and just needs a body to act out in, and it feels like there's a personal attack on me, I still can't complain about the life, because at the end of the day, I still have a choice and a responsibility to make the right decision, right? And if I don't make the right decision, I still have a responsibility to do the right thing. It's called having integrity, right? And so, yeah, I do believe that comfort robs me of my greatness. It does. It robs me, because there's times where I get complacent and I stop doing the work necessary to keep moving forward, right? Because I like it sometimes where I get comfortable, things are going good, life is looking up in my mind, and I just get on cruise control. And what happens is I slowly start to slip, and I slowly start to create loopholes for the disease to step into, or the enemy to step into and catch me when I'm not looking, because I'm not staying vigilant, right? I'm not staying on top of the game that I need to, right? I remember when I was out in the streets, they used to always say, man, don't let the enemies catch you slipping, right? Because if they do, you just might end up dead, right? And so today, some of those things I have to remember, like I can't get caught slipping, because I have a disease that I have a lot in my life that the disease can take away, you know, and I can be robbed of a lot of things. And so I don't want that to be my reality. This is another one of those posts where, you know, people really didn't have a lot to say on, you know what I mean? One person responded, no, comfort doesn't rob her of her greatness today. She's in a good space, and she believes that she's moving in the direction she needs to, even in space of comfort, right? And outside of that, somebody else said, that's a good question. But for me, I know that when I do get comfortable, it does rob me. And that's just me. But I'm going to get better, you know? I'm going to get better, and I'm going to keep moving forward, because I've never known this version of me before, and I'm excited to see the version of me that is possible if I do what I'm supposed to, even during these times, right? Never been here before. I'm excited to see where we go. And I hope you're excited to see too. Like, come with me on this journey and check it out. And maybe for you, you might become motivated to want to do some of the same things that I'm doing today. So on the journey to 10% body fat, I don't know where I'm at right now. I was at 31 like last week. Hopefully I'm less than that already, and just keep moving forward. But if anybody hasn't told you yet, God loves you, and so do I. I hope you have a great day, and God bless you.